we're discussing Christian leadership and the state of the nation. With me, I have Bishop James Okocha.
It is my pleasure to be here.
Yes, and Reverend Dr. Chukwuemeka Igbo.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And of course, Reverend Jonathan BR.
It's a great pleasure to be here.
All right, so yes, gentlemen, so glad to have you here. Let's go straight to it, dive into the segment. We're talking Christian leadership and the state of the nation. And of course, following a recent occurrence that happened in Aso Rock in Abuja, we had some of the Christian Catholic leaders that merged into Aso Rock in Abuja, to discuss about the security of the nation. And the dice of it is, they did not go under the umbrella of CAN, that's Christian Association of Nigeria, which we all know are the major voice when it comes to Christians and their concerns. So I'm going to start with you, Bishop James Okocha. Did you think, what's your take on it? And also, did you think what the Catholic leaders did, do you think it was actually right?
Absolutely correct. In fact, let me tell you, without missing word, they spoke the mind of the church. Do you understand? They spoke the mind of the church. The Catholic leaders, the Catholic bishops, they have been the most consistent. Go and check how they fought with Sani Abacha. Go and check their fight with Jonathan. Go and check their rebuke on Buhari. They have been most consistent. For me, I trust their leadership more than even the Christian Association of Nigeria. Really? They can. Yes, I trust that leadership because this leadership that have been very, very consistent. Do you understand? By the way, the Catholic bishops, this is a block of the CAN. They are part of the CAN. In fact, integral, major part of the CAN. So what they spoke wasn't just for Catholic Church. What they spoke was the mind of the 180 million Christians that we have in Nigeria. They spoke our mind, and nobody can say otherwise about that. So I give kudos to them. When next they're going, I'm not a Catholic bishop, I will join them.
Oh, all right. I'll get back to you right there. So Reverend Dr. Chukwuemeka, what's your take on this?
Well, if I will come in from that very perspective, yes. However, I just have something different from what my guest has just said.
Okay.
One, CAN seems to be the umbrella body of the Christians in Nigeria.
True.
And they ought to have come under CAN. But what they just did is an underscore and trying to tell the public that the Christian body is divided, and also underscoring the CAN, Christian Association of Nigeria.
Yes.
And basically, it would have been CAN speaking on behalf of the church, on behalf of the Christians, but they now going ahead of CAN simply means that there's problem and conflict within the Christian leadership. That's my take now.
Okay, so Reverend Jonathan Bear, what's your take on this? And do you think their actions were justified?
When you say their actions, I would like us to make a distinction. Is it the message you took to Aso Rock, or they going as a denomination? If it is concerning they going as a denomination, I don't really like that. It doesn't really speak well of us, because they are part of the CAN association. If they have such an idea or intention, I think they should have taken the association along, instead of them going, as a denomination. That speaks a lot. The outside world might see it as if there's a crack, within the Christian body. It speaks a lot. And also, some might see it as if maybe, the Catholic Church they see themselves as,
highly
placed. Maybe they are more important than every other denomination. So I don't think that is okay, to me. I don't think that is okay, but the message is okay. But, they're segregating themselves, and going alone without the other bodies is not okay.
All right, thank you very much. So Bishop James,
Yeah.
I'm just going to take a cue from what Reverend Bear said.
Yeah, let me lay a clear foundation.
Please go ahead.
You see, the Catholic Church has a way to operate. When Sani Abacha was sitting on Nigeria,
Yes.
all right, the Catholic Church brought Pope down to Nigeria. Now, the Catholic Church has a way, like there is something they do governmentally. Because, you see, the Vatican there is a symbol of government. So there is something the Catholic Church has, they do in every government of every nation as a Catholic body. Before ever joining, if Khan had called and they refused to come, it would have been a different thing. But this is what they do in all, not just in Nigeria. So Catholic Church, they are there to, stand as a watchdog, right?
Okay.
All right, because this is a voice that speaks to defend humanity. Go and check the indices. Even before Khan was formed in 1976, before the Khan came, the Catholic Church has been there doing this same thing. So this is part of what they do. So it's a different thing when Khan calls them and they didn't join. And Khan didn't call them. And I'm assuring you that Khan cannot do that because Khan is highly politicized. Khan cannot do exactly what the Catholic Church did. If you ask Khan to go there, I am telling you that what we see, the outcome of that meeting wouldn't be what it is. I am giving you a guarantee because I know Khan. I'm not a stranger.
All right, you're not a stranger. That's very good. So I'll come back to that. Reverend Dr. Chukwuemeka, you seem to be on the side of Khan. Maybe as a man of structure, you want us to follow authority. I think the issue might be because they didn't probably follow due procedure. So you think that is an issue for you?
Yeah, I want to come from that perspective in the sense that, you see, their Khan seems to be or is the umbrella body of the Christians in Nigeria.
Okay.
There's no two ways about it.
Okay.
And the Catholic is a block in Khan. Is just like undermining the authority and going ahead of the authority. It proves that there is conflict and segregation among the Christian body. You know, personally, I may not blame them for what they have done. I'm not talking about the message. I'm talking about looking at the whole issues all together.
Okay.
You understand? One, looking at what they have done is trying to tell the world that the church is not together. That is number one. Number two is undermining the authority, which is Khan. And number three, it also proves that actually they have there's a vote of no confidence in the leadership of Khan. So there's serious conflict going on in the body, and that is why we have what is going on in the church, why the church has no voice. So we should, I'm not against the message going out there to ask the president what is happening about security. And we know also there are also other sections of Khan, which is the PFN, who actually wanted to do the same thing. You know, they actually wanted, but they cancelled what they did. So we should, what we want in the Christian body is for us to come together. We have to have a common ground, despite our denominations and whatever our doctrines. We should have a common front, and that is solidarity. And we should be able to go as a voice and stand with that voice and tell the government this is what the Christians want. And it's because of this prevailing division and segregation in the body of Christ, that is why you find out the government is coming with Muslim to Muslim ticket and nobody's saying anything about it. So these are the issues that we should look into in-house.
All right, thank you very much. That takes me to you, Reverend Jonathan Biara. Where a situation where the authority, the said authority, have refused or perhaps are silent, and then some set of the Christian bodies, which is the Catholic in this situation, now decided to go into Aso Rock, to take the bull by the horn and do the needful. Do you still think that they're not justified?
When you talk
or
about
their actions questionable?
The action is still questionable because there's no record to show that they approached Khan.
But Khan, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Khan has not of recent said anything as regards the recent killings of Christians, especially in the northern region.
Yes.
Now teachers, children have been abducted. Children have been in the forest for more than over 52 days now, more. We just had them released last month. So, but Khan didn't say much. But these particular Catholic leaders decided to take the bull by the horn and go forth to Abuja to get to know what is going on and to seek further solutions. So do you think that actions are questionable when the authorities have not done anything as regards this, allegedly?
Yes, thank you for drawing our attention to the docile nature of the association, that's a crime, but what I want us to get straight is this. Is it on record that
The Catholic
Catholics approach Khan? Did they approach Khan?
That's why I said allegedly. They haven't said anything. We're not so sure. But
No, it's not allegedly. Khan have not said anything. It's a fact. PFN has not said anything. Though PFN is a bloc. Catholic itself is just a denomination. It's not even a bloc in Khan. It's a denomination
yes.
in Khan. So the question is, did they approach Khan and Khan said, no, we don't want to be part of it? I don't expect Khan to be the one to approach them because they are not above Khan. So they are supposed to approach Khan and say, Khan, since this is who we are, this is what we are supposed to do. Of course, Catholic Church is not a pressure group. Khan is a pressure group. And if anybody is going to listen to anybody, it's Khan that you should listen to.
Thank you.
And so Catholic Church is supposed to approach Khan. And so if there is proof that Khan said we are not going, maybe for whatever reason,
Yes.
and they decided to go, great. But then it might not carry much weight, like when you have an association approaching the government.
But the association have been quiet for a while.
It has been quiet. The question is, did they approach Khan and Khan turn down the invitation?
That's a question that we're not
Yes,
so sure
yes.
about.
So that's why I don't want us to draw the line. Yes. But, other than that, to be honest with you, I think it would have been better that the Catholic Church, go under the umbrella of Khan.
Okay.
It would be better.
But the pastor made an outcry as regards the cancellation of the protests, and that was supposed to be done generally within the Redeemed Christian Church of God. So, gentlemen, what is your take on this? I'll start with Reverend Jonathan.
Well, to me, I want to see it as an act of eye service, and what I mean by that is, if the church had a plan to come out and protest against the current happening, in the state or in the country at that time, and
Yes.
they shelved it because the government said they shouldn't. It means it didn't really mean what they wanted to do. Because if you mean it, a convinced man is a dangerous person. If you're convinced about what you want to do, nobody
Yes.
can stop you.
Okay.
So for you to decide to stop, it means you were doing it just to make people see that, oh, we protested against what was happening. That's what it means. For you to easily, if I may use the word, chicken out. Because if I really want to protest, I mean it. Based on my conviction, nobody can stop me.
All right. Dr. Reverend Chukwemeka, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I actually think there's much that missed in the crime that missed the eye in this very situation. I wouldn't want to believe that the set man of God actually cancels that very protest because somebody called from Abuja. I think there is, just like I said, much in the crime that missed the eyes, and there are other things that we should look at, probably, that would have been seen as a result of the cancellation. However, what transpired and whatever we've heard from the cry, you just said from the pastor, from the same congregation or denomination,
Yes.
it still boils down to what I've said earlier while we were discussing about the Christian body and the Catholic Church.
Yes.
You see, there's this obvious division. There's this obvious division that we are seeing in the church that needs to be tackled, or else the word or whatever will be taking advantage of the church. We should come as a voice, as a matter of truth. You understand? We are Christians, and the Bible says, let the brotherly love continue among us. And if you feel that the set man in within Christian church has cancelled a protest, you should not just assume he did that because somebody called from Abuja. You should be able to go there and ask about, Daddy, why did you cancel this protest again? You understand? And he should be able to tell you, of course, having a cogent reason why he's been able to cancel the protest. That's my take.
All right. Bishop James.
Well, it's very disappointing that that protest was cancelled. And then I, some time ago, planned a protest against the set man of the reading. I'm speaking on the air.
Why?
It was Prophet Isaiah Boba that called me and said, don't do that. He said the church has gone through a lot of pain. And if you do that, it will also, people may misunderstand it. My reason was because the first person that was killed by these guys to test the resilience of the church was the evangelist Eunice in Abuja. She came to do morning cry. They stoned him to death, a redeemed evangelist. And the church was calm. Now, so many things has happened. You know, redeemed pastors adopted, redeemed church invaded, and the church was calm. Do you know why nobody can go to the north and speak against Islam? Because of how they will react to it.
Yes, the reaction.
Yes, but because here, however you do, whatever you say, people, I have heard Pastor Deboye address this issue.
Okay.
He said that he called off that protest because that it may escalate. No. You see, if there are people that are obedient and loyal, give it to Redeemed Church followers.
Yes.
They can respect the man of God.
Authority.
And they are naturally quiet and calm. Redeemed Church people cannot go on protest and they start looting shops. They cannot do that. They just want to march on the street to express their anger.
Which is a peaceful process.
And that time, it was when there was a debate do we have Christian genocide or not? Are you getting it?
Yes.
So that protest will have been in support of the argument that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. So as he called it, because he himself didn't believe that there's a genocide in Nigeria. I heard him speak in America. So because he didn't support there was a genocide, anything that will promote the school of thought that is a genocide, that's why he stepped it down. But I'm saying that it is not fair. We are calm because not our mother or our sons that are being killed. If you kill my son, I'm telling you, I will decide to die in the process. Do you understand? So let's not do this. If a brother is feeling pain, we just sit down in the comfort of our place and all of that. Where is the brotherly love? Where is the brotherly love?
That's a question that we need to answer. Where is the brotherly love? But let's also dive into another part of the story where allegedly it was said that authority from the government house in Abuja made a saying or made the call that there should be a cancellation. Now that places us in this level, the government influence in the church. Do you think that it is something, because the way it is happening now, it seems as if the government now has more say in the affairs of the church. Is it okay? They are another authority. The church is another authority. So, Reverend Dr. Chukwemeka, let me start with you.
Yeah, in that light, if I may say, the government is just like, if that call has come from the government,
yes,
and just it has the way it has been alleged, and the said man decide to cancel the protest because of what has been called.
yes,
Then obviously there is a compromise, because the church does not answer to the government. Rather, the government answers to the church. The church is a supreme authority, government by God, and God rules in the affairs of men. So the church stands for the people, and the church stands as a mediator to mediate between the people and the government. So when the government is going wrong, if you look at the history of the Bible, you have people like Prophet Nathanael, you have the one Prophet Samuel for what's his name, Eli, and the rest of them, and David, and also on. We have the prophet who is standing to mediate between the people and the government.
Yes.
So in the same position, we have the present church that is supposed to be fulfilling that very role in the society. So the church does not answer to the government. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
so now, if the man of God, the set man in the house, now decide to cancel a peaceful protest because just the government made a call and said it should be cancelled, I don't think that is right. Because if one is a peaceful protest, except he has heard from the Lord and God said, don't go ahead with the protest. But he's a man of God, so I wouldn't be sure it was the government he obeyed, rather. You understand? Perhaps he has done something else from authority above.
All right. So, Reverend Jonathan, what's your take on this? The government influence in church?
Well, just like my colleague said, I think the government shouldn't have any influence over the church.
Okay.
The church is supposed to be absolutely independent. You know, we are guided by the word of God. I'm not saying that, you know, the Christian body, you know, should operate, you know, contrary to the constitution of the country. And of course, we know that the constitution gives us the liberty, you know, to protest when things are wrong. You know, and the church wanted to do that, and then you send a message asking the church to cancel it. You know, and then the same church, you know, comfortably cancel the protest. It means something is wrong. You know, it means what is happening is more than what we are seeing. You know, it's much more than that. You know, I don't know whether I should go into some details that probably I shouldn't talk about here. You know, probably because my member is in the government, maybe my members are in one position or the other, and so they open their mouth and say, do this and don't do that, and then I obey. It means you are yet to have that spirit, you know, of the Christianity of old. You know, I remember people like Archbishop Benny Daosa.
Yes.
You know, when Abacha was in power, you know, Abacha, you dare not cough. You know, you can't do that, let alone Tinubu this thing. But we had a man in the person of Archbishop Benson Dahosa. When they said there was this decree, I've forgotten the name of the decree, not decree, something, you know, no public gathering, no crusade, nothing is allowed, you know, but Archbishop Dahosa organized crusade in Ibadan, you know, and they couldn't stop him. The same thing with this man, you know, of blessed memory, late, a great evangelist in the north those days, Paul Ginderi. You know, he was a very evangelist those days. You know, he was working, you know, contrary to the policy of the government of the day. You know, when they say no preaching and all of that, he was organized crusade and nobody could do anything. And that is the kind of church we want today, a church that will show leadership, you know, and not what we experience. You know, I think it is disappointing to me. It is very, very disappointing.
Right, so Bishop, do you think it's also
my view is 100% different.
Let's have it.
In comparative theology, you must balance your reasoning. You are of the Christian faith.
Yes.
The other people is of the Muslim faith.
Okay.
Now, what if they think that government cannot control them? Now, you see, you are breeding a lawless society. Do you understand me? Now, the church is made up of people, and people are the element of the state, and the state is governed by government.
Yes.
So, the church is under the government. The mosque is under the government. Every religion you practice is subject to the constitution of the land. But where it becomes an issue is where the constitution infringes into the right of the church. For example, we gather on Sundays. You said we will not gather on Sunday. You pick up one church, I say don't gather on Sunday. Do you understand? When COVID came, for example, those men of God that they may say, everybody stay at home. Yes. They say we're doing crusade. It's on their own peril. Because people could be coming, they'll be harmed. I have seen places where there are, you know, insecurity matters. They say nobody should do church service, and people went ahead to do church service. Yes. God is not a lawbreaker. I'm telling you honestly. God said, "Let every soul be subject to the ruling power." It's in the Bible.
Yes.
So I believe that the church is under the government, but the government should not influence or, you know, dictate for the church Do you understand? If I have, for example, an NGO
Yes.
that is, a civil society NGO, there are things the law want me to do. The law want me to be a pressure group to government. So government should allow me to be that pressure group. Of course, that's what the church is. So it becomes an infringement when the government now stop me from doing what the law has empowered me to do. So the law has empowered the church to do certain things. And within the ambit of the law, the church should operate. The church should not be above the law. And no one should be above the law.
All right. Thank you very much. So yes, on the final note, I'll just thank you very much for also watching us as well. So I'm going to conclude this by wrapping this up and asking, what is your advice for the Christian leaders and for the Christian body in Nigeria?
Well, my advice is, we have been preaching, let's be one. It has not been working. We mustn't be one in everything, but on issues that matter. All right, we can put aside our differences, pursue issues that matter. When we are done, we can go back to our denominations.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Well, I would, before I will give my final note, I would still want to say that, and I stand by the Bible perspective. The church is under the government, constitutionally. But the government does not decide the operation of the church. The government cannot decide the operation of the church. If the church want to do a protest or want to do a service or whatsoever, that is operational. The government does not come into it. That is something that is done by what God says. The church is thus said the Lord, not thus said the government. You understand? It's thus said the Lord, not thus said the government. And I see a lot of people coming with so many issues about church government, but we must make all these things very clear. Very, very clear and precise. The church in their operation must operate based on what God is leading them to do.
All right, thank you very much.
Notwithstanding in what we have just talked about, I see no reason that protest was cancelled except for what the set man has said. And believe you, and believe me, I actually buy into what he said, because there have never been any protest in Nigeria that people never violated. There's never been anyone. So probably he had gotten information you cannot tell. Nigeria is a very dicey place. He would have gotten an information somewhere, or some people would have tried to take advantage of what is coming up. So he decided later on, he was the same person that called for the protest. So if he turns around and said, okay, I don't want to do this protest again, based on some things I've seen, he has right to do it.
He never called for the protest. It was a pastor.
No, it was not the pastor.
No, it was not him. It was Oyo people, not Pastor Deboe that called for the protest. He never did.
It was.
But I mean, an authorization would have definitely.
It was. If you read it, it was the one that called for it.
No, the church, the people in Oyo, they were heartbroken.
Yes, so they started.
Because one of them were adopted.
And he gave the authority to do that. They have no right to that except he has asked them to do so. They approved it. So if he, on the long run, he has turned around and said, okay, I don't want you to hold this protest again. He's a man of God. He hears from God. And not only that he hears from God, he's an elder. He knows all these things. So we should give him the benefit of that.
All right. All right, Reverend Jonathan, what's your advice to Christian leaders?
Well, my advice to Christian leaders is we cannot stay aloof and see people dying, and then we don't express our grievances. There's no law that says we should not express our grievances. That is not law breaking whatsoever. If people are dying, we must come out. The channel through which we can address the issue is by going out to protest. We're going to do that. We will not sit down and watch people being kidnapped. People are hungry, and then we sit down and say we're breaking the law. How? There is room for the expression of grievances, and one of the ways to express your grievances is by protesting. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you so much to you also for watching. Keep following People's Voice. Ensure that you comment, share, and like us. And also, you can also share online on other platforms for others to follow. My name is Roberta Agbiafo. And also thank you to the gentlemen that were here, Bishop
Thank you for
James.
bringing us.
Yes, Dr. Chukwemeka, and of course, Reverend Jonathan. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll come your way next time for another exciting episode of The Current Affairs. This is People's Voice. Have a lovely day.